Hey, muy buenas tardes, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Bueno, mi gente, first and foremost, de corazón de nuevo, muchísimas gracias for you guys' words, prayers, and for your great support. It really means a lot. Bueno, to get into the story in hand, like I had mentioned, I want to start my story up, but from the end backwards. Because, short while ago, I had already expressed a lot of my doings in my story, no, I left hanging why I decided to step back. So for everyone, I wanna put it out there just so you know what pushed me to step back from everything, what discouraged me to continue. And I want to start off by saying, for somebody that did a lot of sacrifice for the causa, it wasn't something easy. It was something hard, and it took a lot. It wasn't like I was in bad standings. I had done something wrong. I had to go. It was none of that. It was just I just couldn't keep turning my face the other way and just keep accepting things. Mainly because where it touched. But anyways, I'm gonna take you guys back to, as you guys remember, we were out in Oaxaca, and we were at war with MS and the vatos that had the plaza there. So as I had mentioned, something happened to the point that we got set up, and I happened to get shot. I got shot pretty bad, and at the same time, the judiciales, they arrested us. And for those that know the ropes in Mexico, it ain't like the States. It ain't like you get arrested, you could get booked, and nah. Here, judiciales, estatales, whichever faction of police works with somebody. And since we were out of bounds, the first thing is they take you and you're gonna go through 12 to 24 hours of torture. And I gotta say, it was one of those things that it was just them judiciales, they didn't really like us for the fact that to them we were pochos, out of bounds, right? Cholitos, vale. But anyways, like I said, I was shot, and but that didn't stop them. It was they went to town. Sincerely, I I felt like the only thing I was thinking is don't pass out, and I just held on. But needless to say, we made it. We made it to, they call it Barandilla first, which is Separos, which is kind of like in the States. You hit county jail, then you hit. But here it's only a 3 day wait. Once you pick up a charge real good, they chip you out to a Ceferezo or an Estatal, which in this case they had us down for narcomenudeo. They didn't bust us with anything, but is the guns and the little war that was going on. That's what they booked us under. So, anyways, when we got there, the first thing was, I was gone. Literally, I walked in, I fell through, and they took me to the hospital. And the whole time I was there, it was like, I don't know if for those that have gotten shot, but I really think that my mind, while I was going through that little little headache or whatever you want to say of them, going to town on us, I was maintaining myself, because the minute we hit there, I was gone, I was out. And then I woke up, and I couldn't coordinate, I couldn't do nothing. I was in a hospital bed, and Even though there was Pilis there with me and other camaradas, like I mentioned before, there was a solid homie that till this day, he just finds out, I'm in the hospital or something, and he checks in with me. And even though he's still doing his thing. He's a Pili and he's gonna keep doing his thing, which I respect that. But he has, a lot of people think that because I'm here or everything that things change. And that's not even it. Like I said, my thing wasn't being disloyal or doing something wrong. I did all my time clean. I did the service that was embedded for me to do out here. And then the day, it just, they took advantage of that. But anyways, I don't want to jump the gun. This homie, like I mentioned before, I literally couldn't do nothing, I couldn't move or nothing. And after a while, I was able to sit down, but they were literally telling me like, "Hey, touch your nose," and I couldn't touch. I was all messed up. As well as I couldn't get up and walk. And but me being a knucklehead, hard headed, I always was the one that, oh, this ain't gonna overpower me. I gotta push through and defeat this. That's the way I always thought about things. So, anyways, I used to grab onto the IV stick, and he used to help me at first. Take me to the bathroom, sit me down, and the Pili or the homie used to shower me. So I'm forever grateful for him. Out of everybody that we got busted, they were all on the yard. Chasing that dragon. That tecato life. And he every day, came in with food and see if I needed something 2, 3 times a day. And again, I'm forever grateful to him. But anyways, after a while, it was I just started telling him like, "Hey, fool, let me do this on my own. I want to grab onto the IV and I gotta start doing things. If you see I hit the floor, pick me up and throw me back on the bed, and but let me take care of it. Si fallo, you know, screw it, let me." And but anyways, without getting grounded on something, time came, and as you guys know, here they have a thing called antigüedades. Antigüedades is what we would think of priors, right? But here in Mexico, how it works is usually you get what you wait to get sentenced. So whenever you get busted, you push for getting sentenced as quick as possible. That way your lawyer could press on paying with money whatever sentencing you have. Cause here, you could pay with money and get out. So at the same time we're there, they're pushing, they're pushing for us to get bail. But antigüedades, it prevents you from getting bail. And as you guys already know, this was actually my seventh time I was in a Ceferezo here in Mexico. So, anyways, time came. They lined things up with the DA, Procurador de Oaxaca, and everything, and we were able to get out. And as soon as we got out, we went back to Culiacan, and we were there, but I was messed up. So I was still trying to tie strings. Like they need this. Well, I was trying to keep those avenues open. And at the time I was doing this, the Pili Darryl, D old man D came down and he told me like, "Hey, I want you to go with me." And I was like, "Okay, well, I want you to go out there and help me, put a little bit harder foundation with our clecha." So after being in Mexico and just be out there, it was it was something of peace, and plus I didn't know how long it was gonna take for me to start coordinating and walking right. So I said, Simón, con todo y gusto sería un placer. So, anyways, time came and we went out there to Sonora. First, we hit Hermosillo, and I gotta say that at first, everything was candy. Everything was love, and I was finally able to relax for a while. I mean, I was always on my toes, but it was no more. I need you guys to go out here. That Pueblo's here. Secure around. I need you guys by 5 minutes from the town to where I say is boogies, and then you go down and boogie. And a lot of times we would have to literally stay up in the mountains, and with a little maca or just a camping net and just be up there, till we were called on. So it was something different, just at first it was collecting collecting feria and having the right people getting paid, and to be sincere, I was making money. He was permitting me to make money. So again, it was peace, in the sense, not in the full sense of it, but from what we were doing, it was peace. But the first time that we actually bump heads a little bit, you could say that, because we couldn't bump heads, right? Because first off, he was jefe de plaza, right, in Sonora. Second of all, he's a pili, right? As a sureño, I'm obligated to just put my head down and listen, right? But see, I never been a dirty vato, like, to the sense, like I mentioned a lot of times. I was always about raza, our gente, and not having to step on our gente. But here in Mexico, it's different, man. That's why, sometimes I see these vatos come on here and talk about how honorable that it is, and how it is. You guys don't know nothing about the game, because I remember the first time was with the homie Lizard, and basically he messed with the wrong chick. So we were up there, and they asked the old man from Ontario to go ahead and turn him in. And my expectations at first, because I was with this Billy up in Corcoran, so he had different. At least I thought he had different mentality towards camaradas, right? So when they asked him, the first thought that I thought was, we're gonna go to war, F it. But it didn't happen like that. He grabbed the homie. He had his own little crew tie him up and turn him in like a puerquito amarrado, right? The worst part is, it was a comandante de la policía asking for him. So, there went out a lot of factors when it came to our rules and regulation that they input, that they set, right? Is, for one, he's working with Popo, and second of all, he's turning in a good camarada. Not to mention, this homie, he had been in Mexico for a while, so firsthand I know that in Mexico you have to go through some stuff, right? Just for the fact that you're a sureño, or you're on the streets riding as a sureño. But anyways, that was the first time I questioned him. I asked him, hey, discúlpeme, señor, con todo respeto, this ain't right. So he gave me a big sermon, and told me that unfortunately, we're down here, so we have to abide by by the guidelines that they put out. I told him I understand that, right? But as camaradas, there's got to be ways around it to protect their own. And he says, we start doing things like that, and they find out about it, and the whole Ranfla falls. And I ain't gonna permit that. After that, I just stood quiet, and I told him, okay, entendido. But it hit even harder when the next day, well, bad news travels fast, so we heard they have found homeboy all chopped up, literally. So it was the first time that I questioned what this man was doing out there. I understand that here in Mexico, it's not even a dog eat dog world, it's a bunch of ratas. And I got a lot of family big time in the mix. It is why, they requested for me not to throw my face out there, right? So that I don't throw leña on the fuego. But unfortunately, that's how Mexico works. They tell on each other. They're best friends, and the way to climb the ladder is the minute your best friend turns around, dome him in the head and take his place. You don't earn nothing here. So, old man, he blended in pretty good. Like I said, to the point that, he had a big ranfla out there, man. But anyways, me being the idiot that I was, I turned the cheek and I kept pushing. I kept pushing, and when like I literally had an ass beat by the Señor, was when, remember, one day we're chilling, right? And there was a couple vatos from here, from Mexico, part of the Talibanes that were there helping support. And there was a girl, right? And they started messing with her. And that's something that me personally, I don't tolerate at all. So remember, I got up, and the senor requested for me to chill. It wasn't going to go nowhere. So I told him, all right. But I still stood up, and I went and I got between the girl and the vatos. And I told him, look, I don't care about this hyena, but this, what you're doing, hell no. You keep doing this in front of me, I'm going to take it as disrespect towards me. Y va a valer madre. Please excuse my language. So anyways, I left it like that, came back, and we sat down, and we were talking, conversating about some stuff that he had left behind in Corcoran, right? When he was there, and he was basically asking me who had taken over this, and just that. And the vato started again. So the minute they started, I got up and I took flight. And afterwards, he came up and told me, like, hey, call me by my placazo, and he told me, like, look, fool, I know you got hard loyalty, but this ain't gonna happen. You start putting hands on them, and I'm gonna have problems, and I ain't gonna have no problems. Needless to say, he told me, man up, fool. So, as a sureño, dispuesto, if I gotta get regulated, whatever, checada, you gotta man up and take it, right? So, but it was nothing like that, man. He allowed them battles, not even a round flood, but them battles, to go ahead, tie me up, and stomp me in. I'm talking about stomp me in. And by this point, it was like it was like, I started questioning what the hell did I do, at least when I was out there running around, we were able to wiggle to some sense. But, right after this, he knew that I was agüitado because one day he came and he goes, hey, look, yo sé que andas agüitadón, but, you gotta understand, we gotta keep these doors open, and I told him, for a while I've not heard that you have any pipelines out that way. So why are you doing this? And he told me like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a new position just to show you what we're doing for our gente over there. So me at this time being a prideful sureño that whenever it was about to bettering our gente, I know it was for the bad thing, which was to put dope over here. But at the end of the day, we were doing something for the causa over here, to whatever that sense. And at the same time, there was a lot of camaradas that were in the war with me, and he was allowing me to bring them and just be at peace, right? So, anyways, this new chapter started with him, but I will continue about this in tomorrow. Like I mentioned before, I'm gonna try to make this a two-piece so that I'm able to go live Wednesday, and I really do want to touch in on what really made me flip, and how it happened towards the end. So I want to dedicate it sometime. This is just the beginning of what I thought was peace, and in reality, it was a whole bunch of betrayal and having some stupidos, to say it politely, there with him, taking whatever came with it. And I got fooled, and right after this, I got fooled again, which I will touch on. But anyways, mi gente, I know this ain't the story you guys like to hear, but I feel it's important for me to touch on what made me step back. There's a lot of people that think it's because I got sick or because I did something wrong. There's nobody that's going to come on here and say there's paperwork on me, that I did something dirty, that I told. I'm against all that. But I will touch on it. Con esto dicho, I send my love, my respects. Please stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones.